What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? We'll wait a few seconds, a few minutes. Let everybody get into the room. Hope everybody is doing well this evening, or whatever it is where you're watching from. It's been a bit of a crazy week. So I know that I was supposed to start this stream earlier in the week, but it ended up not happening. Sorry about that. But I had to do a lot last week, and it always ended up happening right around the time that I normally stream the show. So I missed my whole week of live streams, and I really did good. I planned the whole week of shows, and hold on one second, let me check something here. All right, so there we go. Thank you for that, Gypsy. And I planned the whole week of shows and ended up not being able to do them. Let's see who's in here so far. What's up, Gypsy Lily? Thanks for letting me know the audio was a little distorted. I had the gain up a little too high, so fix that. John Seth says, been looking for you, Fitz. Good to see you again. Nice to see you too, John. Thanks, Gypsy. Yeah, I adjusted, so it should be good now. It should be good now. John, maybe try turning up the volume on your device. Everybody else says it sounds good now, so maybe check your device. I'm pretty sure, looking at my levels, it should be pretty good right now, so check your device. But yeah, I ended up having to help a friend. He broke down on Monday, him and his little daughter, his baby daughter. So I had to go and rescue him and help him with his Jeep. Did a little work on his Jeep. Helped him get back on the road. Lady Brown, hi there. What's going on, Lady Brown? It's good to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining the show. Good to see you. So yeah, I helped him, got him back on the road. Then Tuesday, I ended up going to a hookah bar and was talking to a guy that I knew, and we had known each other, but we couldn't place where we knew each other from. But we sat down and started talking about history and all these other things. John, just maybe refresh the stream on your device. If anybody else is having a problem hearing me, let me know. But I'm pretty sure it's straight now. I'm pretty sure, John, it might just be your device. But if anybody else is having an issue with volume being low, let me know. We ended up talking about history and a bunch of stuff. Man, I looked up and it was 8 o'clock, and I was like, man, I missed my stream. Then on Wednesday, of course, I teach, so I was dancing with some kids. So I couldn't do that Wednesday. And then Thursday was just another busy day. I ended up driving all night, so I missed it. What's up, Deidre? Deidre says, hey, Fitz, I love hearing your voice in my headphones. The bass tickles my ears. I turn the volume way up. Appreciate you, Deidre. It's good to see you in the chat, too. Good to see you in the chat, too. So, we'll wait another moment or two, and then we'll just go ahead and get started. And I wasn't going to do a stream. I don't think Friday is a good day to do the stream because people, have things to do on Friday. So I don't want to do a stream on Friday. So, Y'all already being crazy in the chat. Gypsy Lily says she likes her ears tickled. Y'all are funny, man. um. So yeah. So you will go ahead and just jump in, man. And if people just get in late, they get in late. But this was something that was kind of on my spirit. So I thought I would just go ahead and talk about it on the XJW Sunday show. So those of you who have been watching the channel for the last few weeks and months, you guys know that I have been working on repairing my relationship with my parents. And y'all gonna stop with this craziness in the chat. Y'all crazy, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all so funny. But yeah, I've been working on trying to repair this relationship with my parents. Take a sip of my Coke and tequila. I don't know if y'all tried that orange vanilla Coke. I'm not even a Coke drinker, but I just wanted to see what it tastes like. That junk is busting. That junk is good. But anyway, my therapist kind of helped me get to a point where I was willing to try to reach out to my parents and repair the relationship with them. And like I said before, it's going well. I connected with them. I called them. We sat and talked for 3 or 4 hours. Now, of course, you guys know my parents are Jehovah's Witnesses. They're still in the organization. And I, of course, am not, as most of us are not. And so during that time, it went really well. Then what's going on, Lash Girl RW? And then a monkey wrench was thrown into the situation. My ex told my parents about my YouTube channel and sent them the links to the videos. And I didn't know that she had done that. Well, out of the blue, all communication with my parents just stopped. They wouldn't reply to me, and I couldn't get through to them when I would call. So my daughter, she and I hung out, and she told me, she said, "Daddy, that's a lot of bullshit going on that you don't know about." I said, "What?" I'm just doing a little recap so that this story tonight makes a little bit more sense if someone hasn't gotten the whole backdrop. So she told me that her mom had given my parents my YouTube channel. And once my parents heard about my channel, it ended all the communication that we had, right? So at that point, my father, who once I called him and when I reconnected with him, I found out that my father has prostate cancer. And he was going through a lot of radiation treatments. He's gone through those treatments, but my mother is unwilling to speak to me, completely unwilling to speak to me. And she, I guess in an attempt to keep everything the way she wants it at her home, is kind of preventing my father from speaking to me. And he would sneak and speak to me while he was at his radiation treatments. So for about 2 months, he and I have been trying to arrange a day that we could get together and have lunch and talk. because he told me he really wanted to sit down and talk with me. So it was always maybe like on a Thursday or something like that. Also, really quickly, guys, if you can, please like the video as you come in the room so that YouTube will send it to more people so we can get more people who are dealing with things like this into the show. So if you can give me a like real quick, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. And again, thank you. So for about a week, for about 2 months, every week we would make a day. I'm like, hey, Dad, you want to have lunch? And he would say, yeah. And then that day would come and he would cancel. So then the next week, we want to have lunch. Yeah. Day would come, he would cancel. So this went on for about 2 months. Because one day he texted me and he said, hey, the whole text was in all caps. This is going to happen. It's happening. I'm not going to call you this time. I'm not going to text you this time. I'm going to call you. And we are definitely going to get together and have lunch. This is going to happen. Promise, all of that stuff. I said, okay, Dad, love you. Talk to you soon. And I sent him a message. I said, hey, can I come and bring you guys lunch? You and Mom, can I come bring you guys lunch to the house? He said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Let's just keep it between us for now. I said, all right, cool. I'll do that. Now, during this whole time, I'm still in this place where I really love and miss my parents, of course. Now, I just come from a place where I thought I didn't care to see my parents anymore. I literally thought I would never see my parents again unless they had passed away or something. And in my mind, I thought I was okay with that. Well, after going to the therapist, I found out that I really wasn't, deep down, I really wasn't okay with that. I really wasn't okay with that. John Seth says, or asks, do you think your father has seen any of the stuff on your channel? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. And I know he has because at one point he texted me and asked me had I ever been baptized when I was a witness. And he asked me that because once my ex showed him and my mom my channel, she went on this little rampage where she was showing or telling all the elders in their congregation about it, all the brothers, to the point where the brothers had a meeting with my parents and told them to cut off contact with me, told my ex to cut off contact with me, tried to get my daughter to cut off contact with me. So I know he's seen it. I know they've both seen it, which is why they stopped speaking to me. So I had reached a point where I literally thought I didn't need to see my parents anymore. I was fine with that. Through seeing the therapist, I decided to go ahead and call them because it was causing problems for me in a lot of other areas of my life. So I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try to mend this relationship. Well, again, as I was saying, he would always cancel our lunch dates. Would always cancel. Something would always come up. And my aunt, who I've talked about on my channel before, his sister, she needed him to do something for her. One of the last days that we had planned to have lunch, he texted me and told me he had something to do, so we couldn't have lunch. And it was because he was going to do something with my aunt. And I was thinking, well, it's my aunt, it's your sister. We both know and love her. We could have just met there and just all hung out together and talked. But that didn't happen. So one day, and this is the point of the show, we don't have to lay down for others to stand up for ourselves. He texted me. He said, "Hey, Hoss," that's what he always called me growing up. "Hey, Hoss, haven't heard from you in a while, just checking on you to make sure you're okay." And I looked at the text, and I knew deep down, this is the start of me starting to stand up for myself in this situation. Because for the most part, I had been laying down, in a matter of speaking, to keep peace between us. And I didn't want to stand up for myself in this situation because I had just gotten the situation to a point where we were actually speaking again. So in my heart, I felt I needed to stand up for myself in the situation. But I wasn't really willing to yet. I wasn't willing to, even though the situation that was happening, I had a lot of things to say about it. But in order to keep the peace, I chose not to. And that was something that I noticed was happening in a lot of areas of life. There would be a lot of things that I would think, this is something that I need to address. But I didn't, because I wanted to keep peace in all these different situations. Naturally, I am a person that loves confrontation. Anybody that has known me for an extended period of time, say 20 years plus, knows that I am a natural asshole. I am a real ass. And everybody that's known me, they'll love me, but they were like, "Dude, you are such an ass." And it's true. It was true. I was a supreme sarcastic asshole. If I thought something about you and you were in my presence and the time was right, you were going to know exactly how I felt about you. I didn't care about hurting people's feelings. I was going to say what I needed to say. Deidre says, "I wonder if your dad just doesn't want to get into it with your mom about leaving the house when he's coming to do lunch with you. He might be trying to stay out of trouble at home and at the hall." Deidre, you hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what's happening. He doesn't want to get into trouble, and I don't want to get him into trouble either. But the fact that he's my father and I have to use terminology like I don't want to get my father in trouble for seeing his only son was becoming more and more bothersome to me. And I kind of just got tired of always having that feeling and nothing really being able to be done about it. So I waited for a couple of hours and just pondered the text and pondered what I was going to say back to him. And so eventually I replied to him and I said something to the effect of, Dad, this whole situation is really bothering me. It's bothering me because I feel like no one has spoken to me and asked me about what really happened in the situation. I said, there's a lot of things that you guys don't know about my ex and why she did what she did. And I really wish that you guys would come to me and talk to me and I used a JW terminology so that I could shed some new light on the situation so that you guys could know what's really going on. He replied to me. He said, I definitely want to talk to you. There are definitely some things that I want you to know. I'll get in touch next week. And so Gypsy says, and it's a shame, your father shouldn't have to feel trapped like that. This organization has everyone brainwashed, and it just disgusts me. I agree with you, Gypsy. Michelle M. What's up, Michelle M? Hey, Fitz, got you live. Good to see you too, Michelle M. Good to see you in the chat. So he said, I'll get with you, he always says, I'll reach out to you in a few days. So I said, okay. Now, the thing that's really bothering me the most in this situation is that I can't reach out to my mother and father after having such a great reconciliation with them. And then after that reconciliation, me being able to just call them, say, hey, I'm just saying hi, seeing how y'all doing. And me reaching out to him, hey, Dad, just seeing how you doing. And me getting texts from him and calls from my mom, them all saying, hey, we just want to make sure you're okay. Love you. Da, da, da. And it was going really, really great. And I really, really, felt really, really good about that. I think you guys even mentioned the night I talked about it, everyone was saying, oh my God, you look so different. You look so relaxed. You look so happy. And I really did, even though I was going through a lot of other things at that time. That was something that really made me feel good in spite of everything that was going wrong. And so I reached out to my aunt. She and I, we talk very regularly. And my aunt told me, she said, I talked to your father, and I asked him, actually my father showed my aunt the text that I sent him. He said, hey, look at this. And he just handed her his phone. My father has a flip phone. So he flipped it up and showed it to her. And so she asked him, why haven't you seen Keith? Why aren't you going to see Keith? And his response was, I don't see Keith because he and his mother don't get along. And I feel like I'm stuck in the middle. Now, granted, years ago, that may have been a true statement because me and my mother and I bump heads a lot. In the past, we have bumped heads a lot because I am the kind of person, again, that if you say or do something crazy to me, you very well should expect to have something crazy come back because I'm not with that bullshit. I wasn't at that time. My mother would say something crazy, I'd say something crazy right back. Because with me, you play a stupid game, you're gonna win a stupid prize. That's just how my brain is wired. I will go tit for tat with your ass. That's just how I am. But in this case, 20 years later, John Seth said you can meet in secret. Well, you can't meet in secret with someone that is afraid to leave, his own home. He always has to have justifications for wherever he's going. So there's really no in secret. But in this case, 20 years later, I'm not the same person. At 25, Keith was a completely different person. Now at 43, I really want things to be more calm in my life. I don't really want the drama. I don't really want the bullshit in my life. So I'm a lot more calm than I was a long time ago. So when my aunt told me that, I was livid, and I also was very hurt. I was very, very hurt because I'm not really the type of person that gets upset. And when I say upset, I mean as far as going to tears and crying and being sad about stuff, unless it's somebody that is very, very close to me. I mean, you have to really get past my walls to get to a point where you can bother me. And there's very few people who have the ability to do that. Very, very few. But my family, of course, is one of those people that have the ability to do that. So when I saw that message, when I heard that, I was really upset. So I thought about it for a long time. A couple of days after we had that conversation, I thought about it. And this is what made me come up with this topic. Because up until this day, I felt like I had been laying down simply to have this relationship with my parents, with my father. Even though what he was doing by keeping me in the dark and hiding the fact that we were communicating and sneaking off to communicate with me, and I'm his son, and the fact that I had literally gone to therapy just so I could have the strength to reconnect with my parents. And upon us reconnecting, it went so well, and we all, mother, father, myself, had gotten along so well. It really pissed me off that he would use me as a scapegoat in the situation. It's how I felt, knowing that the situation wasn't caused by me, but caused by my ex. And the fact that he chose to absolve my ex of responsibility for her actions and place that responsibility onto me, I couldn't suppress old Keith. Old Keith was like, man, I need to handle this shit. So I kind of just left it alone for a couple days. And by a couple, I mean exactly 2 days. On the second day, I said, you know what? I need to tell him something. Because at this point, I decided I'm not going to continue to lay down in this situation. I feel like I have been wronged, and it's not worth it for me to continue to feel this way just so my father can feel okay about throwing me under the bus. So I sent my father a text. And it was a good text. I didn't say anything crazy. I promise I didn't say anything crazy. I'm actually going to read it. If I still have it, I may have deleted it. Okay. This is what I said to my father. Hold on. John Seth says, any invitation to the memorial, that's often the only time they bother to get in touch. No. No. I've already told them. I told them before that there's no way I'm stepping foot in the Kingdom Hall again. The only time I've ever set foot in a Kingdom Hall was because my daughter asked me to come because she was giving a talk for the first time and she really wanted me to be there, and so I went for her. So this is what I said to him. I said, "Hey, Dad, I talked to Aunt Renee. She told me that you told her that the reason you don't see me is because Mom and I don't get along. Dad, that isn't true. The last time I talked to Mom was when we all sat and talked for hours, and we talked for days after, and it was all love. The reason you don't talk to me is because of what my ex did, not me. She drove a wedge between us intentionally because I don't want to be with her. I cannot allow you to place the blame on me for something that she caused. I don't appreciate the fact that instead of placing the responsibility on her for her actions, that you choose to place it on me when I came to you both in love to mend our relationship. Please hold her accountable for her behavior. I love you both so much, but I can't allow you to place blame on me for her behavior. Please don't do that again. I love you and Mom very much, as I've said to you repeatedly, and I'm here for you both." Now, I sent that message on March 24th at 12:58 p.m. And I haven't heard back at all. So, the point of this whole thing, and even if I don't hear back from him or them again, before I get to that, Gypsy Lady says, "You did everything you could do, and you really did try your best. I just hate it isn't working out." She says, "Damn, that's deep." I hate that it's not working out too, Gypsy. But the point is, whether or not I hear from him or them again, the point is, at a certain point, you have to stand up for yourself. Now, this treatment could have gone on indefinitely. And I would have gotten drops of water. I would have gotten love like drips from a faucet instead of turning the faucet on. You know what I mean? And when it came from me to them, the faucet was all the way on. When it came to them to me, drips. And nobody likes a drippy faucet. For lack of a better analogy, nobody likes a drippy faucet. Drippy faucets are annoying. And that's exactly how the relationship was making me feel. I was feeling more annoyed than loved. And at a certain point, I had to say, am I going to continue to have these drips, or am I going to fix the faucet? And so I chose to do something knowing, because of course, we all know our families. We all know the consequences of what we will say to them. We all plan out things to say because we know if we say this, this is going to happen. If we say this, this is going to happen. Well, I knew what the consequences of me sending that text would be. I knew what I thought the consequences of those texts, of me sending that text would be, but I also knew what I hoped the consequences would be. I hoped the consequences would be good, but in the back of my mind, kind of knew what was going to happen. What's going on, Great Dane? Good to see you. Last Girl says that's right, or crumbs here and there. Exactly. Deidre says, Fitz, are your ex-parents in the truth? I am wondering if what she did was out of jealousy about the relationship that was about to be repaired with your parents. in addition to being upset that you don't want her back. I think it's more of the second one than the first one. Some people have an all or nothing mentality. If they can't get everything that they want, then they're going to ruin everything for you. And that's kind of how it's been for a long time. She's this person has she's ruined my relationship with my parents, ruined my relationship with my girlfriend, ruined relationships with lots of people. Almost tried to ruin it with my daughter as well. But the point is, eventually, I think, especially with us as XJWs and in life in general, there comes a point when you have to say, okay, is me laying down just to have this peace actually allowing me to have peace or causing me to have more problems? And so I had to choose to stand up for myself. And I know I've talked in the last few shows about how forgiveness and forgiving people and all of that stuff is great. And it is. Forgiveness has helped me a lot in this journey that I've gone through. I have forgiven a lot with my parents and a lot with people in my life in general. I have forgiven a lot of things. But I don't think forgiveness is meant to be something that allows you to be a mat to have your feet wiped on either. So I forgave my parents and I tried to reconcile with them. This was literally the 5th time that I extended the olive branch to them. And sometimes the best way sometimes the best present you can give someone is the present of not having your presence. Sometimes the best present you can give someone is the present of not having your presence. And so that is exactly what I have to do, or what I've had to do in this situation. I know my parents will probably not reach out to me anymore after that message. But at the same time, in sending that message, I didn't send it with hate. I didn't send it with the old Keith. I sent it with love from the new Keith. But the new Keith still knows there's only so much shit that you can allow into your body until you just become some shit. You know what I mean? So that's enough shit. It's enough shit. I've taken enough shit, and I'm good with no longer taking any more shit. Because I think one thing that happens to us when we leave this organization is that we get used to putting up with shit. We get used to putting up with shit to the point that, you know how if you go to somebody's house and they have a house that smells like shit, but they have been in the shitty smelling house so long. I'm saying shit a lot, but it's just what I gotta say. But they've been putting up with the shitty smell so long that they don't even notice that it smells like shit anymore. That is exactly what this situation has felt like. It's felt like that it has been shitty for so long that the shitty treatment becomes normal to the point that you don't even realize that it's shitty treatment anymore. And sometimes sometimes you have to step out of the house. And then when you walk back in, you're like, hold up, it smells like shit in here. That's exactly what this feels like. I feel like I had to step out of the situation with my parents. And then when I really looked at it and I said, okay, let me step back in this. Wait a minute, this is shitty. You're being treated in a very shitty way. Do you think you deserve that? Do you really think you deserve that? If you feel like you have been putting out love to them, but all you're getting back is shitty treatment, is that fair? Is that something that you should lay down your true feelings for, just so you can get the little drips of water that you're getting? I mean, technically, if you're only getting drips, you're still not getting enough anyway. You could just walk away and find a stream of water somewhere else. So while deep down, it hurts me to my heart that I've not heard from my father in all this time. But my dignity and my self-respect means so much more to me than to allow myself to be treated in a way that doesn't reflect the way I'm treating them. And I think that applies to a lot of aspects for people's lives. If you know in your heart that you're giving out a lot of love and you're not getting it back, at what point do you say, okay, I'm not getting back what I'm giving out? And not that you necessarily give it out just to get something back, but shit, man, if the clouds don't get enough moisture, they can't water anything. And as people, we have to be reciprocated at some point. We can't constantly give out love and not get anything back, because eventually we're not going to have any more love to give to someone else. We have to get that back at some point. Last girl says, amen, Keith. Great dang, 40 years shunned. It still hurts. Sometimes we have to cut bait. I kept thinking they'd come to understand the crap of the watchtower and choose to love me again. Deidre says, oh boy, I'm sorry, Keith, but we're glad you're standing up. Thank you, guys. And Great Dan, I totally understand what you're saying. It still hurts. And I think it hurts more because I actually had a glimpse of it being repaired. And I wonder deep down, if I hadn't done that, would I be okayer than I am now? But I'm honestly okay. I am honestly okay, because in my heart, I can honestly say that I did everything I could to repair the situation. And at some point, after you've done everything you can, you have to say, okay, that's it. Your loss. So it's not just that I'm losing them. My parents are losing a relationship with an amazing person, because I am an amazing person. And all of us who are in this organization, that have left this organization and have chosen to improve ourselves and to be more loving and tolerant of people who may not have believed the same way, who may not believe the same way we believed at that time. We're all amazing people. We have learned something. We have learned a life lesson that a lot of people won't learn. We've learned what it's like to have love and to lose it, but still have love for these people, even though we're not getting it back. And a lot of people talk about forgiveness, but we in this organization, and by organization I mean the XJW community, have lost everything. Everything. But we have still continued to grow. We have still continued to grow. Great Dane says you can never be okayer when your mom and dad choose to throw you away like garbage. You will definitely feel like crap. Great Dane, I usually agree with everything you say. Everything you say. But you know what? I'm going to disagree with you in this situation only because at a certain point, we have to choose how we allow people to make us feel. If in your heart, Great Dane, you know you're not crap or garbage, and you believe that from your heart, from the top of your head chakra down to the bottom of the soles of your feet, you believe that you are not garbage, but you are an amazing motherfucker, then there should literally be nothing that anybody can say to sway your view on yourself. Now, does it happen momentarily? Yes, because when this happened and when a lot of other things that happened in my life happened, I felt like I was worthless and I deserved everything that was coming my way. But then later I had to realize, you know what? I can't let the opinion of 3 or 4 people sway how I feel about myself. Self-esteem is literally that. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. And if self-esteem comes from yourself, then it can't be swayed, or it shouldn't be swayed by someone who is outside of yourself. We have to choose to know how amazing we are. And we have to choose to know, not believe, because belief is something that's based upon something you have no evidence of. Knowing and belief are 2 completely different things. So we have to know how great we are. And if you know how great you are, then there is not shit anybody can say to make you feel like shit. So no. I will not feel like crap. I will not feel like shit, and I will not allow them to make me feel like shit. Every morning, I have a morning routine. I get up, and when I'm in the shower, I turn everything off, and I just tell myself how grateful I am for the great things that I have in my life. Because even when I feel bad, or if I feel sad about some things, I still have to realize there are a lot of things for me to be grateful for. A lot of things to be grateful for. I could still be living in that car in the Walmart parking lot. I could still not have hardly a dime to my name. I could still be in a car that's breaking down constantly and I'm always working on it. I could feel like I was a horrible person that didn't deserve love from anyone. All of those things have been turned around simply because of the way I chose to change the way that I thought about myself. When I was first living in that car, I felt horrible for the first few months. And then later on, I said, you know what? I am going to make the best out of this situation. By the midway through the first year and into the second year, it felt totally normal. And honestly, I was super happy. Super happy. I didn't have a care in the world. But it was only because I changed the way that I was thinking about myself. Now, honestly, in the last few months, there's a lot of things that have happened that have caused me to be very unhappy, very depressed, almost to the point of wanting to not even be here on earth anymore. But then I literally had people in my life tell me, open up your scope a little bit. Open up your scope a little bit, because right now your scope of vision is focused only on the negative things. You have to realize that once you broaden your scope, that you will see all of the other wonderful things. If you have 500 wonderful things around you and 4 negative things around you, if you only focus on those 4, you're not going to see the other 496 wonderful things around you. Now, which one would you rather focus on, the 4 or the 496? So I had to choose to say, I'm going to focus on the other 496. And all of that vision and being able to change the way you feel about yourself comes from no longer laying down for others. And laying down for others doesn't just mean what you allow them to do to you, but it also encompasses how you allow them to make you feel about yourself too. If I'm allowing somebody to make me feel like shit, I'm basically laying down right in front of them, and I'm giving them all the power over my life. Feeling like shit will control every aspect of your life, literally, in some way, shape, or form. Feeling like shit about yourself because of what someone else has said or done will affect your entire life. Standing up for yourself includes changing the way you feel about yourself and changing the way you let someone else affect the way you feel about yourself. And by that, it means not allowing them to change the way you feel about yourself. John Seth says, Gypsy, some have kids like me. If I stand up for myself toward my JW family, my son will lose them. So it ain't as easy as it seems. John, I see what you're saying. Let's look at the other comments before I comment on that. Deidre says, well, John Seth, you may not be in a position to speak out, but hold yourself in high esteem in secret if you must. But please know your worth. Look at the sacrifice you're making for your child. That is awesome. You should feel good about you. Gypsy Lily says, I was in the same situation as well, and Keith also has children. I have a child. I don't have children. One and done. The children should still be able to see both sides of family until they turn 18 and are able to make their own decisions. Yes, my daughter is 23 now. Before she became 18, there were a lot of things that I didn't say to her when we were alone. There were some things that I would say if I was talking to her in front of her mother, because that way it wasn't like I was talking behind her mother's back. I made sure that her mother knew exactly how I felt, and my daughter could hear how I felt too. And we all know what playing. We all understand that that sometimes you have to play a role. But there's a difference in playing a role and living a role. If you have to play a role momentarily to keep up relations with someone because you have kids, it's understandable as long as your kids understand the truth, your truth, and you're able to communicate that with them as well. Even though my daughter was living with her mom, and they were still going to the Kingdom Hall, my daughter knew my truth. My daughter knew my truth. So when she became an adult, just a few weeks ago, we had a really good conversation, and she thanked me for a lot of things that I've said over the years because it affected her in a way to make her a mentally strong person. Even though she was still going to the Kingdom Hall, she still has the ability to think for herself, which is something that she thanked me for. And even though I was playing the game and doing things so that she would always know that I was around and she would still have some type of family, she knew exactly. She knew exactly how I felt, and it helped her. Gypsy says, "Sorry, Keith, I meant to say child." Yeah, I don't think there will be any more children at 43, and I have a 23-year-old daughter. For me to start over again, man, that's gonna be rough. I don't think that's gonna happen. So, yeah, and not Gypsy, Great Dane, you should not feel like crap. You're an amazing person. And the whole point of my channel, we all know about the organization. I've said this before. We all know about the organization. We all know how they are. We all know what they actually stand for. So dwelling on that is no longer the point of this channel. For me, the point of this channel is to help as many people move forward with their lives after leaving that organization. Because leaving that organization and living a normal, quote unquote, normal, productive, happy life is very difficult. And it's very difficult for a lot of people to understand the side effects of leaving this organization. And I want, for not only for myself, but for anybody that watches my channel and any of the other XJW channels, to know that there's more to it than just bashing the organization. I started my channel talking about the organization as a lead up to how it is afterwards. And you notice I'm not making any more videos about the teachings of the organization because I've already been there. We've already been there. We all know what they teach. The hard part is not knowing what they teach. The hard part is moving on with your life in spite of what you learn about what they teach. That's the hard part. And that's the point of this channel. So, we don't have to lay down for others to stand up for ourselves. We don't. And I think it all really starts with how we view ourselves. If we can view ourselves as amazing people, people who are loved, people who are love, and people who deserve to be loved, that's going to help us move forward a lot more easily than if we dwell on the hurt and the pain and the absence of the people that mean so much to us in our lives. I still love my parents, but I'm no longer willing to allow my insides to hurt for them. And I'm no longer willing to allow my eyes to cry for them. I have no more tears in my tear ducts for this situation. I have shed my last tear for this situation. We are done. I am done feeling sad. I am done crying. I am done wishing that the things would change. I am done. I am done because I am worth so much more than that. And so are all of us. We do not deserve that treatment. We don't deserve it, and we don't have to lay down and tolerate it. This doesn't mean that we have to go on some bashing spree of our families or anyone in the organization. It only means that we realize our worth as human beings. We have the right to be happy. We have the right to love. We have the right to be loved because we're human. And I think on that note, I am tapped out. I have said everything that I need to say. Let's look at this chat before we get out of here, because I don't want to keep you guys too long. And I'm going to get out here and hit the road and make some money. John says, my son is 12 and I pretend to like the magazines and stuff so that they don't shut the door. Deidre says, I'm playing a role as well, but my insides, my heart and mind are completely different. John Seth says, your channel is probably one of the best that is out there, Keith. Thank you, John. Thank you. Deidre says, yes, it is. Thank you guys so much. I'm really, really trying to do, so much to really help as many people as possible, and including myself. It helps me to talk about this stuff. Sometimes just talking about things helps so much, which is why I love that you guys are always so active in the chat, but I also want to make it to where we can all call in and really talk about it. I really feel like just sharing our stories helps so much. Sometimes we don't have people that we can really talk to about these things because there are not a lot of people who actually understand how we feel and what we're going through. Deidre says that's why we miss him so much when he's okay. So I'm doing this again. I have my whole week planned out. I have a video lined up for every day of the week except for Wednesday. Wednesday I'm teaching. Gypsy Lily, actually, I am going to arrange a meetup, like an in-person meetup. I want to set this up, and I have somebody that's helping me do it. But I want to arrange a meetup. I'm going to put some questionnaires out on the community tab of my channel to try to find a place that would be conducive and most convenient for a lot of people to come to, so that we can maybe spend a couple of days, maybe just like a weekend, maybe get there on a Friday, have some activities on a Friday evening, and then on a Saturday have a whole day of different activities that we can meet up, get together, have a good time, talk, have like some panel discussions, some open panel discussions where the audience can talk and we all talk, and then have a really, really good time. And then we all maybe just leave on a Sunday. So I'm arranging that now. I don't know how long it's going to take to get that together and how much it's going to cost. But I really think it would be a great thing to have a meetup from people of all different locations and all different races and all different backgrounds, so we all can really just get together and talk about our experiences after leaving the organization, because I don't really believe there's been something like that on a level where people can come from a lot of different places and really talk about their experiences, and maybe even have somebody to film and document it and make some type of documentary about it. Because we see documentaries where there's a few people they're talking, but to have a meeting where there's like lots of people from lots of different places and lots of different backgrounds, man, that would be such a cool thing to do. So please be on the lookout on the community tab. I'm gonna put that out there, and see if we can really get that popping, because I really want to do that. I really feel like my channel is a different type of channel for this, and I don't want to toot my own horn or anything like that, but this channel is something that we can really use to really empower and uplift. And I feel like unknowingly this has become something that has become a purpose for me that I didn't realize that it was. I've actually had a lot of people tell me, dude, you can really do something to really help a lot of people. And I don't think you realize how important what you're doing actually is. And I honestly didn't. I didn't realize it, and I didn't go into it with the intention of it becoming so important to me and to other people. I had no idea going into this that I would end up with, not that it's a lot, but 8,000 subscribers and people really being active on it and really listening and chiming in and telling their stories and helping so many other people. It's an amazing feeling to be able to help people like that. And so this has really become a really big thing for me. And I'm navigating my life to a point where I can spend a whole lot more time and devote a lot more energy to it. So that is going to be something that I'm working on here in the next few months. And again, please look out on the community tab, because I'm going to put a bunch of questions out there to try to make this happen. Deidre says, yeah, we can donate. I can't be there for health reasons, but I sure would love it if you guys could do that and film it and then upload it here on your channel. Hey, that's something that can easily be done. But yeah, I will let you guys know. I don't want it to turn into some crazy fiasco where I want everything to be completely above board, so everyone feels comfortable with, being able to come to a certain place, knowing how much everything is going to cost. I want everything to be completely above board. I want it to really work. So, John says, I am in Norway, so you guys are far away. And see, that's the thing. I had no idea that I would be talking to people in Norway. I think I've had some people from Denmark, like John, Norway, all over the world, man. So this is not something that's just central to the United States. This is something that is, I think we forget how far reaching these issues really are. So I really want to do something to help as many people in as many places as possible. So yeah, guys, tomorrow, let me look at my schedule for tomorrow, for the show for tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is going to be, what is your why? What is your why? And it will be at the same time. I'm going to try to make all these shows at about 7:30, because I think that's the best time for everyone. But yes, tomorrow's topic is, what is your why? We will talk about that tomorrow at 7:30. Guys, thank you so much for coming to the show today. I love you guys all so much. Thank you for your support. And I will see you all tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, thanks for joining me. And I will see you all soon. Peace.